You currently locked in to the coldest podcast in the land. It's your boy, B Jones, aka Bolo. And what's me pulling up to the porch without my dog?
What's going on, y'all? It's your main man, Big Smitty, aka D Nice. And you heard what Bolo just said. This is the porch. Welcome. We are back again, y'all. Another week, man. Another week. Bolo, how you feeling, my brother?
Blessed, highly favored, man. You know we can't come to the porch without talking about God first, man. We wouldn't be here without him. So we always gonna thank God first, brother. But I am blessed, highly favored, brother. Obviously, you in the sunny side of LA, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I can't complain. Like you said, man, blessed, thankful. Another week, another day to get to it. Another day to chase these goals and grind. And so excited about today's special guest because the word grind and the word, dream chaser. I feel like these are just a few of the words and adjectives that describes our special guest. But before I introduce her, we gotta pay bills. So I gotta shout out Bet Online, man. The number one betting gambling site for all your betting needs, your sports gambling needs, man. It's NFL season, it's college football season, NBA's right around the corner, man. So if you're looking to place some straight bets, some parlays, whatever you need, Bet Online is the place to be, man. Use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV. But without further ado, Bolo, man, special guest that me and you are both super excited to have on. She is truly a Renaissance woman. She's an RN, an author, a media personality, a wellness coach, a motivational speaker, a businesswoman, and so much more. The one and only Holly Cotton. Welcome to the porch.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I can't wait to talk to you guys today.
Absolutely. Welcome to the porch. How you feeling? How you feeling today?
I woke up, so that's all I need for a great day.
That's all we need.
She's preaching already, Bolo. She going in already. We ain't even got started yet. I love that. I love it, man. No, we appreciate your positive energy. And like I said before, myself and Bolo as well are so excited to have you on to just talk about everything, man. But first, the one question that we have to start off with, and we love to start with this one question whenever we have a big time interview, is real simple. Who is Holly? How would you describe, how would you answer that question?
Actually, I have a note in my phone that I remind myself constantly who I am, because sometimes you get so distracted in who you want to become, you forget who you actually are. So I feel like Holly Cotton is just the woman that is here to inspire other people to be the best versions of themselves. So whether that be physically, mentally, spiritually, maybe I can drop some gems, just me smiling, maybe I made you laugh, whatever it is. My whole mission as Holly Cotton is to be the change that we need. So some kind of way, I hope that I am that positive change on whoever needs it.
I love that. I love that. Now, where did that come from, though? Like, talk to us, about like, where did that all stem from?
So whenever I started, so I'm an entrepreneur long time ago, 5 years ago, I decided to start my own company. And I remember when I was looking at starting a company, everyone was like, what's your mission statement? What's your mission statement? What are you trying to do? What's different? What's different about you than other people? And I was like, man, what is different? And being a nurse, being a nurturer, like I've always taken care of people. I've always tried to be the difference in someone's life. And it sounds corny and people think that you're lying when you say that,
right?
But it really is. Like, I really feel like that's my purpose in life. So I just adopted that as kind of like what it is. And so not only am I trying to be the change for other people, but I like to surround myself around people that are trying to be the change as well. It's easy to talk smack about doing something, giving back or whatever, but what are you really doing? So that it kind of just became my little informal mission statement. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the change, because I'm sick of people not being the change, people not doing what we need to do. So I'm gonna be the change. And then it kind of just, now I'm surrounded with energy with other people doing the same thing.
That's it. I love that, because you attract what you attract. And I think a lot of the times too, for us, we kind of wait around for somebody to make the change or to do something for us and be that positive impact where, you hold a lot of power within yourself to be the change that you want to be. So, that's definitely admirable, especially for women to be able to, through all the, you know, barriers and adversity, you know, stand strong and push through different elements to, you know, continue to give back and, you know, give more. I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to show women also that you can have it all and you can do it all. You don't have to be segmented in one thing. You can be strong, you can be sexy, you can be a hustler, you can be a grinder, you can have your own brand. You don't need to have somebody else's last name to make you be a person. Like that's just extra. Grow your own self first. Be your own person. Because when I walk in the room, I'm Holly Cotton before I'm anything else. So
facts. No, that's right.
Mindset, man. You over here motivating me through the screen right
early.
Talk.
Game time.
About to run through a wall right now, Holly. I love it, man. I love it. And I love how you talk about just your mission statement, right? And it's crazy because, you know, during the intro, I named just a few of the different things that you do in your career, in your life. And one similarity that I noticed between everything that you do is that they all have a correlation of serving others in some way, whether it's through your motivational speaking, whether it's through your fitness training, whether it's through nursing, being a professor, like every single aspect of your life, although it's a career. When I really sat back and thought about it, I'm like, damn, she's actually giving back with every area of your life. Was that by accident and just kind of naturally happened that way? Or was this like very specific, like this part of your plan?
I think whenever you find your purpose and you live in your purpose, everything falls into place. And a problem with a lot of people, when you don't know what your purpose is or you don't have a passion for something, you just have a hodgepodge of all kind of stuff and you're all over. But you will find that successful people, whatever it is, if you're into finance and banking, you'll notice that everything they do is linear to that. If you notice that there's someone that they're a comedian or whatever, you'll notice all the everything is like comedy. Sports, you'll notice that someone is successful in sports. What are they going to have? Nutrition, supplements, working out, whatever. It's all going to kind of just line up. So I think when you live in your passion and your purpose, you'll just automatically do those types of things. You don't have to go searching for it. You're just like, you know what, I'm here, and those things kind of just show up in your life.
Love that. I love that.
Powerful. Now that's very powerful, man. And another thing, man, and this is kind of switching gears a little bit here, but something kind of traumatic and dramatic that you went through earlier in your life that I forgot to mention was you had cancer. You're a cancer survivor.
Correct.
Kind of just take us back and just walk us through, number one, just the emotions that you went through when you found out you had cancer, but then number two, on the backside, how you were able to, you know, stay mentally and spiritually strong enough to actually fight it and ultimately win.
Sure. So one, my first book is about this. So I feel like I've told this story so many times. My first book is called Strong More Than Muscles, and that was sort of my way of healing. But this month, October 12th, is my cancerversary. It'll be 11 years since Yes.
That's
I was like,
congratulations. That's beautiful.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Like, what? It's not. It wasn't February. It was like October. But you know, so I tell my story all the time. That me also being a breast cancer advocate, being a nurse, I've always, you know, taught about all of that. I've found myself. So, you know, they always tell you to do, you know, do your monthly exams. And I literally have a mole that's right here. And I remember so vividly, it was like yesterday, I got out of the shower and I had a mole and I did like this to look at, you know, like sometimes you see a skin something, I touched it, there was a lump right there. And I was like, oh my God, I got cancer. And so everyone is like, they were like, no, it'll be fine. But me as a nurse, I just knew where it was, how it felt. Like I knew what it was. So I went through the whole 2 weeks of the testing and the biopsy and then everything. And then October 12th is the date that I got the call. And it was my doctor. And she was like, you got cancer. And she was like, you got cancer. I'll tell you, I wrote about it in my book. She said, you got cancer. It's very bad. You need to go to one of those surgeons that I sent you, that I gave you a business card for. So I was like, okay, this is not what I thought. I thought like the movies, they call you in, you're sitting in this big comfy chair. There's a box of Kleenex there. The doctor is caressing your arm or holding your back. Or, you know, I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I thought was going to happen. So just the kind of person that I am, I'm always, since I've been a child, teenage, everything, I'm always like, it's a problem. How do we solve it? What's going on? What do we do? I'm never the type of person where I just sit there and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? What is this? How am I going to figure it out? Even now, that's how I live my life. It's a problem. There, to me, there is never an option but to win. And that's just my, no matter what it is. So this was just another thing. And so I was just like, okay, let's go. What are we doing? Surgery, chemo, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. So I go through all of that. And I always tell everyone that after I had surgery and you sort of are on this high because you're fighting. You want this. I was like, how the hell I get cancer? I'm healthy. I miss P90X and, and insanity and all, like I'm doing 20 pull-ups, I'm doing push-ups. I'm like, you gotta be crapping me.
Water, right?
Yeah, my water, everything. And I'm like, and I'm the one that gets cancer. So, but you're so caught up in that fight, and then the surgery is over, and you realize like your whole life is different now, because now it's treatment. Now, what are we gonna do? How are you gonna survive this? And so when you go from such a strong, independent, high functioning level to completely being humbled, where I couldn't even put my hair in a ponytail, because when they do surgery, they go like in your armpit and like all of this right here. So I'm going from pull-ups to I can't even reach up to do this. I can't reach down to put my hair in a ponytail. So after that period, I always say that was the lowest point of my life, because I was depressed. It's just a loss of independence. And so I always describe it as when something traumatic happens to someone, they go two different ways. Either they focus on getting through it and then they bury it and they never want to talk about it again, or they take it and they say, you know what, I'm still here. I'm going to use this to inspire other people, or I'm going to reach out to people that are going through something different. And you'll see, it's no matter what it is, whether it be losing a child or cancer or getting shot or whatever, like there's always either you go in one of the two ways: you recover and you never talk about it again, or now all of a sudden they're an advocate, their whole Instagram or social media is about getting whatever it is and getting over that obstacle. So for me, I went through the period and I went the other way, and I was so sick of everyone knowing that I had cancer, because now you got people, everyone wants to hear your story. Now I'm talking to other people, hey, my cousin just got breast cancer, can you talk to her? She needs someone to talk to. So it kind of was like that. And I was like, okay, so you know what? There's a reason I'm still here. And maybe my reason is to be the change that somebody else needs in their life. Maybe I need to tell my story on a larger platform because someone may need to hear my story. So at the end of 2018, I decided to write a book. 2019, I released my first book, Strong More Than Muscles. And then that was it. It kind of just picked up. I have people, they email me from UK, Africa, Australia. I've gotten emails from everywhere where people, hey, I got my wife your book, or hey, Holly, I know this is a weird email, but I just wanted to reach out to you and say I read your book and I loved it and you had me laughing and I felt everything you said. So I'm like, you know what? This is my why. This is why I'm still here. So that's my story, and here I am on the porch telling y'all about
it. It's amazing. I mean, because obviously cancer, is something that obviously people donate, and we do a lot to try to figure out the answer. And there really isn't an answer yet, so we just got to stick together, band together in a situation where we just try to pray and keep people fighting through the crazy disease. But I kind of want to talk about I don't know if it's more so like you probably told this story so many times to where it just flows and it has like the good energy behind it. But like the way you tell the story, it just kind of seems like obviously you did hit some downfalls and you hit a rough patch. But for the most part, it sounded like you were pretty optimistic and positive about the entire situation. Like kind of talk us through like just going through like the process. Like were you pretty much upbeat? Like what kept you going? Because I know sometimes, with having cancer and just thinking through it and stuff, it can put you down and put you in some dark places. But obviously hearing you say that story, it kind of seems like you kind of bounced back and you just was going and you made it happen.
Oh no, I'm sorry if I made it sound like that. Please don't think this is 11 years.
Right.
Later,
and that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is a lot of healing. This is a whole thing. And again, my mindset is always there is no choice but to win. I've never had that. I'm not, and even now I'm telling you, like, and you guys know, having a podcast, it's like maybe something frustrates you, the graphic, or maybe something that it's just like there's no other option. I got to get it done. It's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. If I don't make it happen, nothing is going to happen. It's not going to happen. So for me, I just always had that mindset of no one is going to save you. You have to save yourself. And no one is going to come. And me, even being as a personal trainer, I would always, that's why I don't train anymore, because my nerves are too bad now. But I would always be like, listen, I can't force you to do this. You have to be accountable for yourself. And people think accountability is only when you have certain things like working out, eating right, or a job, or you have certain criteria. Accountability for your life means accountability for everything. Your mental status, what's your mental health, what's your physical health, what are you doing to yourself? It's not just a project and now I'm holding myself accountable. So for me, I was like, Holly, get it together. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't went through this, you're depressed. Okay. What are you going to do? You have kids, you have a dog, you have bills. Like, you can't just sit around and mope around and whatever. And so, and I remember, so I had my first surgery in November of 2012, second surgery, December 2012. And then I remember I gave myself like 2 months to get it together. And I actually signed up for a mud run that was in March of 2012. And I was like, I remember my doctor, she's like, yeah, you can work out now. You can, keep it, whatever at a normal level or whatever. And I remember I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a mud run. And so I wound up, I started I remember when I tried to do a push-up and all my arms and my chest, they was burning so bad. And I literally was like bawling in my living room. And I was like, okay, so you know what? Here's the thing. Sometimes you can't go back to who you were after something. But guess what? You can be the best version of who you are right now. So I was like, you know what? I will never be able to do a pull-up again. I'll never be able to do a push-up again, but I'm going to be the strongest version of Holly right now. So for me, I was like, you know what? Okay. And even now, I don't do a pull-up. I can't do a push-up, but I'm gonna pull a truck. I can pull a tractor. I can flip a tire. There's so many other things that can define me being strong other than what I thought was strong before. So that's what I had to do. Where am I now? What are the things that I can do now and I can do well now? And then when you get into that mindset, you realize like, God, okay, so instead of me being depressed about what I can't, let me be happy about what I can. And yes, and not only that, but I'm gonna be super rough on the things that I can do, because I'm about to boss that up on this side now. And then once you do that mindset shift, I think that it just helps you, heal mentally, physically, and spiritually.
I need to call you every
That's
morning.
Real game. No, for real.
I'm just call you before I start my day. It's like, Holly, talk to me. And just whatever you say, I'm just because like, golly, this mindset is testimony. On a serious note, it's so powerful though, because I'm sure there's tons of listeners right now that's tuning in and they're going through whatever battle that they have in their life, and they might be down and out and feeling sorry for themselves, and it might be warranted. We get it, but like you said though, in life, and something that our strength coach would always tell us, unfortunately, nobody really cares.
It's about your
did you get the job done or did you not? It's a results oriented business and a results oriented life. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you got kids, rent is still due, mortgage, whatever the case may be. It has to get done regardless of what I'm going through. So I either gotta just basically give up, so to speak, or figure it out, even throughout whatever trial tribulation I'm going through. And just seeing your mindset and your focus, and it's so special, and it really gives me more information and really makes everything you're doing make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand why you're so successful in all these different areas of your life. So,
but that's your accountability. Like I was just saying, like that's accountability. So like you said, your coach was like, hey, this or that, like those are tangible results. I have accountability. I'm not going to lift this weight if I don't do this. And a lot of times people, whenever you're talking about things like depression, mindset, motivation, whatever, because it's not a tangible thing, I can't see it today. If I make a choice, get up and do something, I'm not going to see those results. Rather than if you have a job and your boss is like, hey, in a business today, you better have this spreadsheet in. That's tangible. I know I have to be accountable. But when you have things that are just off the wall, there's nothing tangible to check in, that accountability is even more important, because now you have to find what are those little things in your life that you aren't paying attention to, or that you are flaking on by not holding yourself accountable.
That's real. And it's funny. I know you mentioned, you said you have kids. So I also coach high school football as well, as just another thing that I enjoy to do, just give back, pouring into kids and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things, and I hear you talking, is just kind of like starting to just like throw off sensors in my brain, is just the accountability piece for like, young adults, especially this newer generation. It's a wildfire, y'all, just because, they're in like a microwave type of society where they think everything is supposed to come fast. They don't really know how to pour into themselves the right way. They don't know how to express themselves the right way. So, they go on to do things that they shouldn't be doing and things like that. So I think it comes back to, like you said, it's like creating a standard for yourself, setting that bar and not allowing yourself to go beneath it. And once you kind of put yourself, on that pedestal to no matter who, what, when, where, how, like you always got to meet the standard and know that, hey, if I messed up or I didn't meet the standard, this is what I need to do moving forward to get there. Then you'll be more successful. So that's like the ongoing battle that I'm always having, like, with these kids every day, of just making sure that they understand that the best them is always the best them in all facets of life. So that's real, because now I'm taking those gems from you, Holly, and I'm gonna give them to my kids, when I see them.
Yeah, tomorrow. And then that's the whole thing. Like I said, people, especially young people, they want immediate gratification. I did this, so I see this. Boom. But those things in life that make you a better person, you will never see that. You will never see it. It's a day-to-day thing. So it's just, you got to pour in every day. So I know it sucks, because sometimes I'm like, I'm doing all of this being good, and what am I gonna get? But I know that it's something is gonna happen. Someone reaches out to me, something happens, somebody's like, oh my God, I follow you on Instagram and you did this, or I love you, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That's it right there.
That makes it worth it.
Yes. I'm like, oh.
It does get tough though, because sometimes don't it be feeling like the people that's out here doing wrong be the ones winning something?
Getting to it. They getting everything. Come on,
God. I did what you said, God. I was praying. I'm treating people the right way. I did X, Y, and Z. When's my blessing coming, God?
And I'm gonna tell you something too, just a sidebar, but I was just on a podcast. I was doing my podcast with someone, and I was telling him this, and I was saying how, it's so hard when you have this, like, I have a brand. So my brand is Holly Cotton. If you look at me on Instagram, okay, like you said, you see all these different things. So I always get people, especially after I go somewhere and I post, like I'm in a bikini or I post in a sexy dress or whatever. That's for me. That's to motivate me. I work my butt off. So yeah, I'm going to floss. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Yeah, but I get like, people will be like, hey, we're looking for, would you, if we send you some lingerie, would you tag us in it? I'm like, I cannot post no picture of lingerie on my thing. Or sometimes I'll be in the club and back that ass up, and I'm like, hey. You know what, where the camera's at, because I don't know about it. And it's like you just become conscious of all of these other things, and it's always like, man, why am I taking the high road? I should just be out here thotting and get me an OnlyFans. And so it's the same thing. Like, it's so hard. It's like, you know what, no, we're working on this brand. This is who we are.
No, Holly, you be talking to yourself. No, Holly, we're not starting a foot page. No.
I know. I've never seen Oprah twerking. I'm like, no, we're here. This is where we are. So yeah, it's funny.
That's funny. That's real though. That's real game.
It's tough, man. It comes down to discipline. You know, like I said, none of us are perfect. You know, I'm sure we all got our situations where we might have stepped outside whatever your box is. You know, but it's about just for the most part trying to stay in whatever that brand is of yours. So
I know
that's a fact.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm gonna have to get a wig. I'm gonna get a wig, and I'm starting an alternate.
That's it. That's it. Throw some shades on. You know what I mean?
Put your hair in a different little thing.
Let it ride. Yeah.
Because when back that ass come on, how you damn near gotta let it.
I do. But then after the first 10 seconds, I'm like, no.
Somebody judging somewhere.
Let me go back to the two-step.
I love it, man. So switching gears here a little bit. Obviously, again, I know I keep bringing it up, but it's so amazing how many different avenues that you've created and that you're able to manage. My question is, how are you able to balance everything out? And I know you wrote another book for this one as well called Day One, a guide to creating, organizing, and executing any goal, which I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm definitely gonna buy this book because one of my areas that I lack at is the whole just organization of everything. You know, I do this podcast. I got a morning daily show that I do. I have a 9 to 5 at Fox Sports. You know, like just so many different things in life that's, you know, getting thrown at you that are all very important to me. And I'm sure others have other things as well. But sometimes it's hard to balance out the time for each area and knowing when to focus on this, when to focus on that. How are you able to do this? Because you're doing like 10 more things than I'm doing.
Well, first you have to have the mindset that failure is not an option. Yeah. So that's the first thing. And then I always said, especially me being a nurse coming in, if you've ever had a corporate job, a 9 to 5 job, you know that you go in and whatever they say you got to give and you got to do to your business or whatever, you do it. So the problem is that we give all these other things all of our energy. There's you know, you're not going to just let your kid not eat today. You'll not eat for them. Or if you have a project at work, that's your job. You're going to get it done. But then when it comes to ourselves, we let all that go lax. Okay, I wanted to do that, but I ain't got time today. I'm tired today. I mean, working out is one of the biggest things. You see people all the time. Oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing it today. Why? If your boss told you had a project due or you had a meeting to go to, you would have figured out how to get to that meeting. But when it comes to ourselves, we always dismiss it. It's not really a priority. Yeah, it's not really that important. So that's one of the things that I do. And so I actually had a guest and she mentioned something and the way that she phrased it is exactly how I say it as well. But you have different buckets for different days of the week. So like you said, if I know that I also teach a class, it started yesterday. I teach a class on Mondays and Wednesday nights and I teach nursing students. So for me, I know I'm gonna go at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna be on campus talking, teaching or whatever. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, that's gonna be my job bucket. I want to make sure I'm nursing. I'm not gonna do whatever. So I'm gonna try not to have extra stuff that's gonna stop me, or I'm gonna be, you know, half-ass doing the other stuff. So not every day you're gonna be able to give a certain thing 100%. One day, you know, podcast might get my whole 18 hours in one day. I might be traveling. I'm on a red carpet. I'm hosting an event. Guess what? That day, the other stuff is going to go underneath the rug because now I'm working on this. So I think it's just about figuring out how to manage your time and not making yourself feel bad that you can't do everything in one day.
There you go, Holly. You hit the nail on the head. I be at home, like going to sleep at night, like disappointed in myself, like, damn, Darnell, you didn't cut that clip or edit that episode, or you didn't do the X, Y, and Z. And then it's like, I don't know. I think being a former athlete, we have the mindset of like, just, you know, get it done by any means. Like I said before, nobody cares what your excuse is. Get it done. So if I don't get everything on my to-do list done for the day, I do have this like inner feeling of just like, dang, like I'm disappointed. why did I not get it done? You know
but
what I'm
see,
saying?
that's your bucket. And I live off of a to-do list. I live off of a to-do list in my calendar. I'm telling you, like when I wake up in the morning, I look at my phone and that's how I figure out what I have to do today. And for me, that's okay. I don't feel bad that I don't know what I have to do tomorrow. I don't feel bad that I have no idea. I wake up in the morning, as long as it's not a trip or anything. Usually I know those, but I'm just saying, like, I'll wake up in the morning, look at my calendar. Oh, shoot, I got this at 1 o'clock. Oh, Lord, I got a podcast at 2:30. Oh, let me get it together. So I don't feel bad for those things because today my bucket was to do this. Today my bucket was to survive. So now tomorrow, that'll be in my bucket. And then I'll literally, like how you just said, at nighttime, I may not get something done. I'm already, hey Siri, make a note, such and such and such. Because guess what? I'll do it tomorrow. So I think it's just learning what's the priority and then getting those things done and not feeling bad if you can't do everything.
That's real. And I think the biggest gem, Holly, is being able to prioritize yourself. And you know, being a dad, being a husband, being a coach, being like a manager at work, working a podcast, like sometimes we get lost in our identities. And then when those identities start to mesh, you start to mentally like just go insane because you don't know how to kind of like manage like your brain and know how to operate in different situations and things like that. So I always tell people like you cannot like, you know, pour into somebody from an empty drain, right? So being able to, you know, make some time for yourself, you know, even if it's an hour or so. I think one thing that you said that stuck out to me that I actually made note of is, you know, every time we think about ourselves, we just say like, oh, we'll be okay. Cause we put it on the back burner because it's us, like, cause we know we'll be all right. We'll eventually get through it. But, you know, like anything, right? If we just make time to prioritize us to either work out or read a book or take a walk or have some type of, you know, mental exercise and then make us better in a certain type of way, like we'll know we'll be better in those other avenues as well. So that's just some real game. Like the Porch, we might have to sell this episode for $9.99, bro. I don't know. This is crazy.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you this too, just to add to that as well, because I didn't give a specific example, but one of the things that I always talk about, and it's in my book Day One, is I talk about daily habits. And what people don't understand is those daily habits contribute to your weekly productivity, right? So if you look at the Mark, what's his name, Zuckerberg or whatever his name is, what does he say? He wears a black t-shirt and jeans every day. He doesn't have to spend time. Anybody that's successful, look at them. They look homeless. You know why? Because that's part of their daily habits. So for me, like I was on a podcast and the guy was like, so what do you manifest in the morning? I was like, I don't manifest anything. The Lord woke me up. I do what I got to, you know, whatever. I'm not like today I don't do affirmations. I just wake up with the mindset, how we going to win today? Let's get it going. What we got to do, how we going to win? So I don't waste time doing a bunch of frivolous stuff. I eat the same thing for breakfast every day. I go to the gym. I know what I did yesterday. I do a different body part today. It's just habit. Like everything is habit. I make my bed. I do that. I like structure. There are so many things that are just daily habits in my life. So what happens is that allows me to embrace creativity. That allows me to use whatever I have to think about. I want that to be about something Holly Cotton. What are we doing for Holly Cotton? Because you spend 20 minutes trying to figure out what you're going to wear today, what you're going to do today, what I'm going to eat for breakfast. Oh, I got to go. You know, in the refrigerator, what am I going to eat? What, you know, like there's so many little things that you do. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to wash my face the same way. I've got everything is just pow, 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 pow. So now when I'm thinking, I'm already, hey Siri, make a note talk about this. Hey Siri, make a note about this. Hey Siri, why don't we add this? You know, so now I'm moving because I didn't waste time sitting around. I will be beautiful today. And that's great for people who need the affirmation. I don't. I get up. My affirmation is God woke me up again today. Get moving.
Thanks. Absolutely.
No, I love it.
Let me ask you this, and I think we always. I think
he's thinking hard. He's like,
He's like, hold on.
I always have like something that pop in my head when I hear our guests talk. Like the brain just get to turning a little bit, right? So obviously a woman of many skill, many titles, right? Obviously prioritizing, everything that you do is very important, right? But then also, what about relationships? How does that play a part in having, daily tasks and obviously worrying about yourself, but then also you're expected to pour into an individual or even your children for that matter as well? Like, how do you try to balance that out? Because sometimes the relationship and like the kids, sometimes they take precedent over a lot of things and we lose ourselves with those type of titles. So, I mean, how does that work in your world?
So for me, I think again, it ain't kid bucket today. So y'all, it ain't your day. It ain't your bucket today,
Okay.
or so I try and do all of these things. And so my kids are older, but we're talking about the last four years from when I wrote my first book to being
right
an influencer on my third book right now. Like it seems like yesterday. I'm always like, wow, this really been only 4 years. Because before that, I was just Nurse Holly. So for me, it's just about this ain't your bucket today. Get over it, and so I feel like it's important to me. I mean, I was married for 17 years and it had nothing to do with anything else. It just wasn't the best situation for us. You kind of stick together for kids. But I feel like part of my growth journey of learning myself, learning the things that work for me, learning how to embrace those things of saying, today is not your day. I can't give that to you today. I can't do. It's whenever you start having requirements about your life and you start having those standards, whoever you're around, they have to be respectful of that, So if it's a day when I'm doing, and my daughter, she knows because she lives with me, my son doesn't, but I'm like, don't come in here. I'm editing. I can't talk to you. I don't want to hear about a TikTok video. I don't want it's not your time right now. But I'll come back. I take her whenever I travel, because I go to all of these cities and events and stuff like that. I take her with me. I travel. She loves to travel. So I'm going to take her to London. I'm going to take her to France. I'm going to do whatever. So you find whatever that love language is for those people, and you can pour in it when it's that time. But I think what happens is we feel guilty because, I'm not being the best mom today. I'm not doing, I no longer feel guilty for those things, because I know that it's not one day of me focusing on things that are important doesn't negate all the things that I do as a mom, all the things I do as a partner. Today is just not your day. I don't have time to rub your back today. I get it. You had a bad day, but I'm in production mode today. I'm sorry, babe. You got to figure it out on your own today. I cannot stop to deal with it. So I think it's just what's important to you. And a lot of times, like you said, we lose ourselves because, I don't want to work on this because now my man, he needs me today or whatever. Babe, I need you to understand I'm just as important to myself as you are to me. But today I can't pour into you because I got crap to do. And I need you to understand that as my partner. So I think that's just my perspective. But I do have a new book called Somebody's Wife or Not. So
and I think it's the perfect segue to me. Let's really let's dive into this a little deeper, man. So we talk about relationships a lot here on this show, on this podcast, man. You just said you got a book titled Somebody's Wife or Not.
Right.
But before I even go to like my question, could you give just like a general, I guess, premise or just idea of what your book is about for our viewers?
Yes. Because I don't want nobody coming for me. Hey, if y'all happily married, do what you got to do. I'm merely talking from my perspective.
Talk your talk.
Yeah. So I was like, again, I had got out of a marriage and 17 years I was somebody's wife. And so there were all, there's all these podcasts and all these things, Dear Future Wifey, how to be somebody's wife, how to get the man, how to keep the man, how to do this. And I'm listening to girls and women around me and, they're like, oh my God, I got a man is going to define me. This is the only way. And that's great when you're a wife and you're in that role. It is perfect. We all want companionship. I'm not saying that we do not want companionship, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a book these people got to get their mental health together, because whether or not you are in a relationship, you should still love yourself. You should still have standards for yourself, whether or not you're with the person or not. So I made sure that my book is gender neutral. I do have men scenarios and female scenarios, so anyone can read it. But I wanted just to talk about self-love, and I wanted people to know that, you know, stop confusing being alone with a loneliness. Stop stop taking traumatic things that happened in the past and thinking that that's a red flag or that's how you are. No, that's a traumatic event because you haven't allowed yourself to heal from it. So that's what I wanted to do, was say, not everybody wants to be a wife. I get men all the time that are in my DMs or will comment on it. Well, you're not going to be somebody's wife talking like that, or you're not going to be somebody's wife doing this, or well, somebody's wife, or if you was my wife, when I'm not, and I'm okay with that. Like, not everyone wants to be somebody's wife. So when you're in a single phase, the book is for where you are. Sometimes you don't even know. You think you're married, and then now you find out your person is cheating on you. Guess what? You single too. Or you know how many people I've met that are widowed? I just have a friend who lost her husband. He literally got diagnosed with colon cancer, and then like 3 days later he was on hospice. 2 days later he died. So five days from the time she found out, he died. You think she's about to be she's in the single world again. She didn't think she would ever be single again. So it's no hate against single people or relationship people, but if you are in a single chapter, it's okay to love yourself. So that's what my book is about.
Wow.
I love that, man. Make sure y'all, the single folks, married folks, whoever, go check that out, man. Support. It's gonna sound like there's a lot of gems in that book. Let me ask you this first. Would you ever see yourself getting married again?
No.
So like no matter what, like it don't matter who this man is who steps into Holly Cotton's life, he can check every single list on your checklist. You not getting married. Can you tell the Porch why?
Let me tell you why. I am perfectly fine being in a monogamous relationship without the legalities of a marriage. So I'm not saying that I would never be committed. I'll never be on the red carpet, fingers intertwined with my boo or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying for me, I've already done that. 17 years, I was someone else's wife, and that was great. I did it. It served its purpose. It taught me a lot. It made me toughen up on things. It taught me about my love language, how to love. There's a lot that comes with being in a long-term relationship. Love it for whoever has it. That's great. A lot of people also maybe don't get married until later in life as well. They may have never gotten married, and they might get married at 62. So I don't need the legalities. I've accomplished too much. I've worked too hard to build Holly Cotton. I'm not changing my last name. And marriage is basically that. It's a contract that we're signing, the legalities. I'm going to take ownership of your name. We're halving things. We're doing this. I'm all about the come what you come with, leave with what you came with. Let's part ways, do whatever. I'm never going to change my name. I did all of this to become Holly Cotton. Like, I'm not going to be something else. So to me, it's just a piece of paper. That's why so many people, especially young people, they're just cohabitating. They're not even getting married anymore. They're like, hey, you do you, I do me, whatever. So I just feel like I have a more relaxed standard of being in a relationship. Of course, we all want companionship, and for my boo that's watching, you're the only one, baby. You the only one.
I was about to ask that because we didn't want to dive into you. I didn't know if Holly Cotton was single, if she was dating, she was married.
Hey, I treat all my men equally. Cut it out. They all the only one. They all the only one.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Pop your collar in, Holly. Hey, she paid her dues, Bolo, 17 years. I mean, do your thing.
So Holly, let's get into it then. Is it okay to casually date?
Yes.
Like, can you just so I'm saying okay, you meet, let's say brother number one, I'll call him, you date him Friday night, y'all kicking it woo woo. Then brother number two hits you up. You go out with him maybe Sunday. Is that cool to casually date? Because I mean, in our society, sometimes we don't really favor the casual dating world.
You better casually date. If you're single, if you are single, why not enjoy being single? I have a chapter in my book, it's called Build a Partner. And this is a thing that single people do. So what you have is like a Build-A-Bear. So when you're single, you wind up having a hodgepodge of people. So somebody might be the torso. That's your main boo. That's the one that you getting, you bending over for, you doing the most for, whatever it is. That's the one that's getting everything, right? Yeah. So, but you know what? Maybe he lives somewhere else. Maybe he's not accessible. Maybe he's just as busy as you. Maybe you have someone, maybe he doesn't like to go to the museums. He doesn't like artsy stuff. He's just straight thug, whatever. But you have another part of that likes those artsy things. So what do? You find someone that aligns with that. So now you got an arm. That's your arm. You see him maybe once a month. Y'all go do whatever you got to do. I like cheesecake. Maybe these other two don't like cheesecake, but this one knows I love me some red velvet cheesecake. So guess what? When he hit me up, hey, I know you want a piece of cheesecake. You know what? I do. Let's roll. So what happens is that single people, you wind up building this whole person based off of all of these other people. And I say it's an adaptation for being single, because you're never really sitting at home alone, lonely. And you'll hear some people, especially women, they'll say, but I don't like that. I don't like that. I just want one man to do, but you're not, until you are in a committed relationship and you are in love and you're doing all of that. Great when you get to that point, but why are you stopping yourself right now from having fun, for doing things? I love going to talk to this person. I have friends in every city. When I go to Atlanta, I know I'm going to hang out with so-and-so. We go on, kick it, whatever. I'm going to New York. I got a friend in New York. I got Jersey. I got this. I got that. LA. I know I got some people in LA. I'm seeing you on Friday, you on Saturday. I'm not.
Holly, it sounds like you got a starting lineup, a bench.
Hey,
and you
Holly
got some people in reserve just in case somebody get injured and you got to replace them.
I got an A team and a B team, A team and a B team. No, I'm kidding. But
player.
But
that's Himalayas for real. Damn.
That's the whole point. And I tell especially women, because I am a life coach as well. So I do this and on the real, on the serious side of it. But I do talk to women about that, because they're, I do get that a lot about, well, what do I do? Well, how do I find this? Or what do I need to have sex with this. And I'm like, listen, you're in a single phase right now. A lot of times what happens is you may get in a relationship with someone too fast. It may not be the person you should be. And maybe you have some things that are important to you and you start changing those things for whoever this is, just because you don't want to be alone. So what happens, you may like, I don't know, you may like your toes sucked or whatever. Now you got this guy and he's got all these great things, but you still have a longing because he don't suck toes. So what's wrong, but now you don't went all in with this guy. Now he's here, and there's all these things that you start feeling, and you have a longing because you jumped into it because you wanted to not be alone so bad. But you know what you are now? Lonely. Because now you have another person, but you're not being totally fulfilled by that person because he's not who you need to be with. So you got a body, but now you're lonely.
So Holly, let me ask you this. So, people always talk about the 80-20 rule, like where you're not going to get 100% of what you want out of one person. So that 20% may be something small, that you can overcome. I mean, do you believe in that, of like not having 100%?
That's if you have decided to be committed. So I'm talking about single status right now. Okay. So when you decide to be committed, you're not going to have everything. That's great if you want to be that way. I'm just talking about if you're single, quit trying to force something to be. Now, if I'm with you, I'm vibing, we got most of everything. Okay. And I love you, whatever. You don't suck my pinky toe, but okay. But you got all these other things, but I'm going to commit to you. That you're going to have your 80-20. But when you're single, why are you settling for an 80-20 when you're single? Get your 80, get a 20.
20 somewhere. Maybe a 10 and a 10 somewhere.
I'm sorry. Build your bear. Somebody might be 40. Build somebody. Yeah.
That's some player, man. No, that's real. That's real. But also real. So real game though, Holly, I think it's funny, just like, this sounds crazy, but just hearing it from like a woman say it, like, because guys do it all the time. Guys got, different girls in different area codes, you know what I'm saying? So when you label the analogy about body parts, and you just need everything to work the right way, it took us some time to just readjust our mindset to know that, hey, women are doing the same thing these men doing. So
they are.
Men been doing it, like, I got Shorty because she throw down in the kitchen. I got no Shorty over here because she real good with
over here.
Good with her woo. And then I got her. She got the you know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own little things that they bring into it. But you are right. Hearing a woman say it is like, it's almost refreshing though. It's like, okay, like I don't hear women just be real and say that.
It's almost like you got to be on your toes too, though. Like, don't get settled in and just be too comfortable thinking something that ain't, because tomorrow she going to get cheesecake. All right.
Hold on, real quick. And Hallie was on another podcast before, because we do our research on the porch, and she said, even if you in a relationship, fellas, don't you ever think that your woman ain't got some other options. That don't mean she out here talking or flirting, but don't you think for one second that you just the only man in the world that can please her, and she can't get no other dude? Because every woman in the world got options.
Options. I did say that every woman got.
We do our research, Holly. She thought we were playing around on the porch. This the real deal. We not playing.
Oh, man. That is hilarious.
You do, but that's the whole thing. Men think that you get, and the other thing is that I remind women, that's the whole point of my book, is because I say discovering self-love in single life. When you get to the point of where you love yourself, like I love me. I've been on this growth journey. I make a daily effort to heal, continue healing. I work too hard to let someone come in and take the best version of me and make it less good than what it is, so that's the whole point. I think that you just have to do that, and then you have to know that you do have options. And I think a lot of times people, again, you get so caught up in those titles. That's why I said somebody's wife or not. Like, wife shouldn't be the only thing you're worried about. You worried about being a wife, your man out here cheating on you. You worried about being a wife, you look like a dummy and a goofball, but you got the name, so you think that means something. No, let me be out here and be by myself and whatever's going on. But so not being a wife is not always the only option in order to be happy.
Let me ask you this real quick, and this is a completely random question, but like we there now. All right, so now stay with me here. So you say if you single, you got these different body parts, right? Different men for different, they bring different things to the table.
Build a bear.
Build a bear. There you go. Boom. But if you committed, right, you got to be committed to that one person, and you can't be out here stepping around, because that's what we call cheating. So now we live in a world now where I see on social media all the time where the whole the poly community is becoming really, really big, and you've seen these people in committed relationships to multiple partners. What is your take on that as an option for a relationship? Because it's almost like you're taking both sides. You're taking the single life in a sense, you're taking the committed life of a marriage, and you're kind of blending the two together. From your perspective, what's your overall view just on that community in general?
I think that, so one, I think that if that's your business and you love it, if you like it, I love it.
Right.
Knock yourself out. What works for you, I ain't paying your bills. I'm not in your house. So knock yourself out.
Right.
But what I think happens a lot, especially for women and especially younger women, I feel like they realize that they're only going to get a piece of a man. And so for them, having a piece of a man is better than no man at all. So I think that comes with the whole part of that, like I said, the settling and knowing your worth and having your values. And if your value is not, I'm coming to you and I'm being loyal to you and I expect loyalty in return, then I think that it works for those people, because for them, they're getting all these little things from that one person. I mean, and I know women are doing it too now. Like women, I saw it on whatever channel it is. The woman, she got 3 men, and I'm like, you know what? I might be able to work with it, but no. But for me, that's too stressful, because what happens is they have feelings involved in it. So each person feels like they are that only person. It's a relationship. So I personally wouldn't do it. I if they want to do it, that's great. But I think it has something to do with when you get to that point where you're just like, man, it sucks out here. I'd rather a piece of a person than no person at all. And then now that's where you are. Now you're in a poly.
It makes a lot of sense. You said something though that got my head somewhere else. So you mentioned feelings. We talk about this a lot of times on this show as well, where like we say it's a difference between like a man stepping out on a woman versus a woman stepping out on a man. And the kind of argument from the man's perspective is when a man steps out, like a man can go cheat on a girl, and it's just physical. Like you can go have sex with a girl today, forget her name, and move on, and it doesn't mean nothing to you.
Facts.
Where the belief is that a woman, when they sleep with a man, naturally there's emotions and feelings
or a specific reason behind it.
That's what I was gonna say. Mm-hmm.
So I guess what? Go ahead.
So the feeling part, this is what I think. I think whenever you're talking about the feeling part, because the woman usually when she cheats is because she's feeling neglected at home in some kind of way, and this person is giving her that emotional connection. So I'll be honest, since we already kind of broke the thing on whatever
on the porch.
But I don't have the same mindset as a lot of women. I'm kind of on a different avenue when it comes to sex. I can differentiate sex from sex and having feelings. So but a lot of women can't. A lot of women need an emotional attraction, the emotional foreplay first. She needs the need to feel wanted. Maybe she doesn't feel that way in the relationship. And so you start getting attention from whoever this is. And now you've already had that emotional connection. So the sex is really for the other person because they doing all of that to get in your drawers. You know what I mean? Like they're putting in the work to get you to step out of your marriage, but really so now you're just like, okay, well now you can get it, but they've had that emotional connection. So I think that happens a lot. And I'll tell you another thing too. I find that women who maybe, I'm not saying anything bad about women or whatever, but I'm just saying, I think women who for maybe their life maybe were like the ugly duckling or maybe didn't get attention from men, I feel like there's like a confidence that they're getting by having that want from someone else as well. So what happens is maybe you didn't get a lot of attention from men. You could be beautiful. You could be beautiful in your own way, but maybe you're not physically as attractive as you could. Maybe you were a little overweight. Maybe there's, I don't know, maybe you got one eye. Who knows? Whatever it is, it could be something about you. And maybe you didn't get that male attention. So you're kind of expecting your spouse or your partner to give you all of that and make up for all those years you didn't get it. See, for me, I've always been kind of a cute girl. So I never got to walk in somewhere and die for a man to look at me. You don't look at, okay, fine, whatever. My feelings ain't hurt. Okay, well, I ain't your cup of tea. No big deal. I've always just had that confidence in whatever, but most women aren't really like that. They need to feel that want. And of course I want to feel wanted too, but I'm just saying I don't need to feel it. I like to feel wanted, especially by someone that I'm attracted to, but I don't need it. It's not going to make me be up at night, or I'm not going to be like, oh, nobody, whatever. I'll just open my side drawer and call it a night if that's
Now, Holly, we are on the porch. It is late night. Just for the people who listen in who don't know exactly what that means, what is in that side drawer specifically?
Stupid, man.
It's the porch. We go there.
Crazy.
I love it, man.
All right, before we move forward.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay.
I got a question. So I think this is something I think you can speak to. Talk to us about the word submissive, right? From the context of like what it means to you, and then how it correlates in like committed relationships and also dating.
I actually have that in my book.
Oh,
she can't tell us too much because you gotta still buy that book.
Somebody's wife are not available on all platforms. So the way that I define submissive is I think, okay, first let me tell you why people don't want to be submissive, okay? So whenever I'm talking about submission and someone is like, well, I'm not being submissive, that means you're a simp, or I'm not doing that, or whatever it is. So there are certain behaviors that people define as submissive, okay? So not everything is the same level of submission for every person. For me, because I am such a dominant person, submission for me might be me letting you lead without asking you where we're going. Or it may be that you put your directions in GPS and it's going a different route, and me shutting up and letting you get us there on your way. So for me, that's a form of submission. So if I shut up and I'm just like, you know what, babe, I trust you, roll where we gonna go. That's a level of submission. But what happens is, because I was with partners in the past who weren't good leaders. So for me, I felt like I had to constantly be like, well, I don't know, that's not the right way to go, or maybe we should try this, because they maybe weren't good navigators with getting us places. So again, that's a level of submission. Now somebody else might be like, girl, I love when somebody drive because I ain't got time to do that. Right. That's not submission for them. So what happens is, we have things that happen in previous relationships that are like triggers or red flags, and a person made you feel a certain way, and you're holding on to that as you think that it's part of who you are. And then when you let that go for whoever it is, that's a submission. So it could be like, men are always like, I ain't giving her no money. I ain't about to be paying for no girl's money. I ain't giving her no money. I ain't giving her money. But is it really that you feel a certain way about giving a woman money? Or is it because you were in a relationship with someone, you gave her money and she didn't appreciate you, she cheated on you, she did something, something that happened because you did that, you know? Or I'm not fixing no man no plate. I'm not about to be doing that stuff and take care of a man. I got too much stuff. Well, is it because maybe you were with someone before, when you tried to do something nice for him, he didn't appreciate you, he didn't say thank you, he didn't make you feel like you were valued as a woman that was taking care of her man? So there are certain things that we hold on to, but really it's because it's almost like a PTSD, because somebody made you feel that way before, and you're like, I ain't letting that go, because I will never feel like that again. Nobody will ever do me like that again. I ain't never gonna feel like somebody used me, or somebody didn't appreciate me, or this, that. And you get these egos. So then when you find someone and you just go, oh, I can relax, I don't have to think that person is going to do that to me. Wow, I gave him a plate, or I'm just making a plate, but I'm just saying, whatever it is, I did whatever, and he was so appreciative, he was so thankful, or oh, I sent her some flowers, and she, you know, made me feel like a man. So anyway, that's what I think about submission.
Wow. Now, does compensation play into the submissive piece? Like, say if a man isn't, you know, the balance between a man and a woman, a man makes less than a woman, does that matter at all? Because it sounds like it really doesn't. But I think it does, though, in certain aspects, in certain households. Everybody's different, but I just think that, you know, maybe a woman making more than a man somehow puts a woman, you know, in a position of saying like she can't really be submissive. You know, if she is like
almost because she
running the household as far as the
but again, I think that you have to define submission based on acts instead of an overall role. So I'm not me telling you that I'm submissive. This is my man, I love him, my man, I'm gonna be submissive, doesn't mean that I'm weak as a woman. It means that there are certain things that I hold highly and prioritize very highly on my list of things, and I let those down a little bit in order for him to do those things that he needs to do. So it's almost like a give and take. And the thing is, I feel like there are certain time frames of your life where certain things are acceptable. So when you're in your 20s and they're in their 20s and you guys are parallel, y'all are both trying to figure out your life, you make more than him. Okay, well, you know what? He might come back in 30s and make more than you. Who knows? 30s, you done got paid off your 5 credit cards that you let go in default in your 20s, and you start getting your credit together, you start doing stuff. Now you're kind of building and you're doing stuff. And I think once you get to a point where you're in that building phase, it's very important to date people that are parallel with you. And I said this before on the podcast as well. I said, I don't care about you being up here and I'm right here, but we have to at least be parallel in mindset and in hustle and grind and whatever else. You know, I might get an opportunity. I mean, it might be like Oprah and Stedman, but Stedman was always a hustler. He had his money too. It's just Oprah had $1 billion. So of course Stedman looked like he don't have nothing. So it's about that parallel. Don't mess with somebody that's way down here and now all you do is complain that they ain't got shit and they ain't got money and they ain't doing nothing. But you knew that when you got them. Find somebody that's parallel and y'all got the same mindset. I can't date someone, I can't be with someone who thinks it's okay to just sit around all night and watch TV. Okay, every night, like sometimes you need, but every night you ain't got a plan, you ain't got a goal. What we got going on? Why you ain't never got nothing to do? Because I always got so much to do. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, you know what? You need to find a woman that likes that. She wants to be in the country. She wants whatever she wants to do, whatever it is. That's your parallel person. I'm not your parallel person. My parallel person has got to be a grinder that's busy too. So.
Yeah. That's real game.
I love it. And I can tell it's almost like, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but like you kind of have a mindset similar to like what someone would consider a traditional man in terms of like the dominant mindset, the hustle by any means. Even earlier when you were talking about, you know, the emotional side, how you can separate the sex from the emotions. Like these are things that, you know, generally speaking, I hate to generalize stuff because everyone's different, but you know, just speaking generally that a lot of women don't necessarily have or decide not to go in that lane where you just got this go-getter mentality where like it's just different. It's just very interesting to kind of hear.
Don't worry. I got a little army that's starting right now. We building them up.
Okay.
Yeah. Holly Cotton _ we're gonna get you together, boo. We're gonna get that self-love going. And that's the thing, like I said, is there is nothing wrong with loving yourself so much that you don't take nothing. I will be alone before I let somebody mess up my peace, and I'm fine with being. I'll just go do something else. I'll find me a new. Y'all be like, and Holly Cotton, who only had 18 jobs, now she got 23 jobs. But I'd rather be alone and happy. And I always say this every time someone asks me about it. I say the times where I felt the loneliest was when I was in a bad marriage. Because you're in a household with someone and you got a great day, you got great news, and you can't tell them because you don't know how they're going to do it. They might rain on your parade. Maybe they're in a grumpy mood. You're in one room, they're in another room. There's so many people that are 38, 45, 52. They don't even sleep in the same bed. They sleep in 2 separate rooms. They haven't even had sex for maybe once a month, but you're so focused on, but you're married. But you're in a relationship. Yeah, but it sucks. Who wants to live like that? You know, a happy relationship. Yes, I'm all for that. But being miserable just to say you are, you know, you're lonely. You're lonelier than me as a single person out here doing what I'm doing by being in a miserable relationship.
Man.
That's true game, man.
Gems, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. We're going to bring you back on here another episode, part 2, because you got a lot of wisdom, and I got to dive into some deeper areas. But we do got to move on to our final segment. This is more of our quick hitter segment. Fun, kind of quick, you know, answers here. And I'm going to start off first, Bolo.
Okay.
And then we'll just go back and forth from there.
Let's get it.
So one thing that, again, we do our research on this show. So this next question is correlated specifically based upon our research. Let me ask you this directly. What are the benefits of getting a girl with tattoos, pretty eyes, and thick thighs?
You get to laugh, you get to travel, you get if you die, I can do CPR. Like, you know, it's tons of perks to having me in your life.
I love it, man. I love it. Okay, cool.
Okay, next question here. Keep it a buck with us, Holly. If you had to choose one thing to live with on this earth, what would it be? Fitness or sex?
Fitness.
You answered that way quicker than I thought
you
answered.
I'm just because you didn't say good sex, you said sex.
Oh, okay.
Good sex then.
So you want no, too late now.
Right. Remember, she got that drawer, y'all, so it don't matter. So
but I'm just saying, you didn't say it. So what if it's mediocre? What if he ain't kissing my pinky toe? I'm stuck with that forever, but I could work out.
Yeah, I feel it. Because listen, hey, we're both from
Holly, you know,
work out a lot.
Coach him up. You can coach him up.
Yeah, you can coach him up. Number one. Number two, like, no more sex. Because basically the question is like, you got to pick one, drop the other. I can work out all day. Working out make you more ready, I feel like.
Okay, let me just tell you that I had to answer from a nursing perspective, because I will let you know that as we both age in life, our stamina is definitely going to decrease. I could always still be fit. Fitness means I'm going to be able to stay in shape. My cardiovascular health is going to be on point. That means that I'm still going to have muscle definition. It means that I'm still going to be able to climb stairs, do things, basic fundamental things, rather than, okay, so now what? I'm going to have sex, and then at some point you're going to become your balls are gonna hang down to your knees. I ain't even want to touch you. You're gonna get that squeezed in booty in the back. You know, you're gonna start having BPH, you're gonna have prostate problems. So for me, I'm not signing up for that forever. No.
That's fair. Damn, when you say it that way, I mean, I hear you, I guess we still I got 100 years of fitness, or I got 10 good years of sex. Nah, it's okay. I'm gonna take the fitness. That's a hell of an answer right there, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our true or false right here. So, true or false? The quickest way to Holly's heart is matching her hustle.
True.
Okay.
Okay, next one.
With some grind, we could talk.
Right.
Okay, it's impossible to build a committed relationship while building a business.
It's impossible to build a committed relationship while building a business. True.
Dang, I kind of one quick follow-up. So do you believe do you kind of believe you kind of gotta choose one or the other?
Right.
With the word is building a business. So it's not established, it's building. And when you're in a relationship, the person is going to feel neglected with the amount of time that it goes to be in that business. So what happens is that you're going to choose the relationship over the business, because now I know I got to deal with your feelings. Now I got to stop what I'm doing to go give you some attention. Now I can't grind till all night long, because now you want to know why we ain't having sex, why we not doing this, why you not kissing me, why you always on your phone, why you looking up stuff all the time. It's too much, because you got to worry about someone else. Build the business, get the grind, do whatever. They need to have the same grind. They need to be building a business and doing the grind on that side. And then what are we? Parallel. Now we're parallel.
You said that. You gotta say same level.
Full circle moment.
Full circle moment
right there.
Okay, next one. True or false? And this got brought up multiple times during the show, so we just add this in a freestyle moment. True or false? Holly Cotton likes her toes sucked.
False.
Damn.
I'm kind of shocked. You brought it up.
I'm shocked too.
Just kind of natural. I said it must be
I was like, that's her thing.
It's a relatable analogy. So I just use it. But no, I'm okay. I don't need my toes up.
Got you. Yeah, because that analogy definitely stuck out. I was like, okay, that's
because people can relate to it.
They can.
It's an extreme thing.
Facts. That's a fact. Okay.
I'm trying to save us from saying liquor.
Right.
I'm trying to keep it.
It's the porch.
It's the porch, though. We can let it ride. We can let it ride.
You ain't got to feel like.
We're going to stick with toes.
I like it.
Next question.
Okay. Success to Holly is simply getting up and chasing her dreams.
True.
Easy.
Last true or false, and then we're going to move into our final question of the entire podcast. So last true or false, we got one more. True or false? Masturbation while in a relationship is a form of cheating.
Ooh.
Oh, hell no. False.
Oh, okay. I mean, why are you making that face, Bolo? Why are you making that face? Talk to me real quick.
I don't know. I don't think it is, but I'm like.
So you're thinking that if you're in a committed relationship and your woman masturbates, that's a form.
I don't think if you got the drawer to the side, that's cool. But I think if you overindulge in some type of porn and you seeing a visualization or something, I don't necessarily call it cheating though. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it is okay,
Holly, if you're in a relationship with let's say your man is 6'3", 225-pound, dark-skinned man.
Call me, baby. Call me. Holly Cotton _.
But you keep so that's your man, right? But every single week, couple days a week, when he gone or whatever case may be, you got this certain porn episode that you watch of these two light-skinned pretty boys, you know, and you constantly getting off to this, like it ain't cheating, but like mentally, it's like, what are you saying? It's almost like you having the fantasies about something else completely different than the man you got. Talk to me.
That is totally healthy. It is totally healthy. It is totally healthy for you to touch yourself. It is totally healthy for you to have needs and wants. You know your body better than anyone. Women are, you don't even have to be talking about where you're using a vibrator. You can use your hand. How does it feel when your hand is, now guess what? I can tell you how I like to be touched. Now I can tell you what works for me. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's normal. It's natural. And here's the thing, whenever you are engaging in sex with someone, I want every sexual experience to be explosive. Know me, know what I like. I know what you like. We vibing. It's open. We're doing this. You like light-skinned blonde girls. You know what? Let me go buy a blonde wig so we can have one of them fantasy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with that? If you are with someone and that is your partner, why do you want him to have that longing for the other 20%? Or you, if you feel like you, this happens a lot of times with women. It takes them so long to maybe get to a point of where they are super aroused and ready to go. So you know what? I would recommend take a shower, get you off one in the shower, get in the mood, touch yourself, get motivated, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things as women, and I know because I'm a nurse. So these are some of the things that I have to educate women on as well. There's nothing dirty with touching your body. You know, there's nothing wrong with exploring yourself. And then now, again, that makes me even more of a sexual being, because now I can be like, babe, you know what feels good if you do it like this, because I know it. I know what it feels like. You got women that's 45 years old that don't even know what an orgasm feels like because they never had one.
Wow, it's fucked up.
That's real game. And I'm glad you said it, because like I do feel like there's mixed, not necessarily mixed feelings on like if it's cheating or not, but there's mixed feelings on like, you know, people who think masturbation is wrong and you shouldn't do it or you shouldn't watch, you know what I'm saying? So,
but for those people, don't do it. Don't do it. If you feel like it's wrong,
don't do it.
The ones who don't feel like it is, get your nuts.
Get it out. Let it out.
3 times a week minimum. Hey, I love Holly, man. Hey, last question right here, man. It's a fill in the blank. In 5 years, Holly Cotton will be blank.
Sitting on the vineyard interviewing the Obamas.
Wow. That's dope.
She did said it, Bolo. She just spoke it. It's in the air. You know how we always say on the show, once you speak it into existence, it will be.
Oh, I got a video of it whenever I was talking to Rashid, you know, Earn Your Leisure. And I ran at the Essence Festival and we were talking and I said it, and because he asked me and he was like, well, you got to put it on a video now. So if you look at my video, my pictures from when I was at the Essence in New Orleans this year, you'll see, if you swipe it, you'll see I was talking to Troy Millings and he's like, it's on camera. You got to do it now. You got to do it. So I was like, hey, it's on, we getting it.
It's on wax now. Boom, there it is. That's the standard. Now we got to get to it.
And I can't wait. Only thing we ask is when you interviewing the Obamas, if you can find some natural way to be like, man, you know what? When I was on the Porch podcast 5 years ago, I brought this up just so they know about us a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about masturbation on the Porch podcast.
Hey, man, hey, they human now. That's all I'm gonna say. The Obama's human. That's all I'm gonna say about that, man. But
yeah, we know Barack getting it. We know.
Come on now, that's a brother, right?
They living good.
But Holly, man, this has been an amazing episode, man. Your energy from beginning to end has been incredible. Thank you so much for sharing and being open with just everything. This is your time right here to just shout out anything that you're doing, you want to promote. Let our fans know where they can find you on all social media accounts. This is your time to do your thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm super easy to find. All my stuff is Holly Cotton, HOLLYCOTTON. My website is hollycotton.com. My Instagram is hollycotton_. excuse me, because all the people stole my name. So I had to do an underscore at the end. My TikTok is Holly Cotton, Twitter, Holly Cotton. So I'm super easy to find. You can Google me as well. There's links on there. And I have a podcast. I actually recently changed the name to make it easier for people to find me. And it's the Holly Cotton Show. So it's on all platforms as well, Stitcher, the iHeartRadio, whatever. And so I have my book, the most recent one. That's kind of what I'm doing my PR about right now. Somebody's Wife or Not. I just have an article that was released in Women's Journal where I'm talking about that, just embracing being, loving yourself enough to be okay with being single and however long you're in there. And then, and that's it. I mean, catch my show. I talk about stuff. All my shows revolve, I call it the pyramid. It's either going to be physical health, mental health, or financial health. So I try to give one of those aspects in between some jokes and laughs and some funny stuff, but I just try to motivate people. And then, my motto is life is short, live it. Don't spend today worrying about what I saw your hat. I saw it. But that's the problem. People are always worrying. Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow.
Love that. I love that.
Perfect segue. Hey, that's my clothing brand, by the way, man. Beautiful. We might do a little partnership collab or something. I don't know.
I need a hat now.
We gonna talk, Holly, offline, but man, make sure y'all go support. Buy her latest book. Buy all the books. Subscribe to the podcast. Follow her on all pages, because man, it's a lot of gems that she's gonna drop and give away to you. And Bolo, how do we end every show, my brother?
Once again, Holly, we appreciate you for blessing us on the Porch family. We did it again. Follow us on all platforms, the Porch Podcast _ as well. You'll find us on Instagram. And just like Holly said, hey, it's all about raw simplicity. And just make sure that the best you
is the best you. And we out. Peace.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. Chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we needed. Now we undefeated. If we link, no, it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated. What do we bleed? Came from the jungle, we humble but hungry and hunting to feed. People don't want us to leave. They love us and rush to the bus when we run in the streets, thinking we stunning the sea. We came from nothing to something, now up in the lead. Now we ain't coming in peace, hunting for blood and to crush everyone in the league. We got a reason, we put in work every day of the week, every month, every season. So many schemes, had to go hard for the team. We gave our all and succeeded. Came from the deep end, warming up pots, cooking ramen. At times that was all we was eating. Now we be feasting, 5-star restaurants every week. Whole team dripped in cloth and it's seamless. They looking hard when we step on the scene. Call us outcasts, we so fresh and so clean. Ain't about cash, please don't ask for a meeting. Just hit the stoop, got the spaz on the beat. Nah, it ain't rude if you ask for the fee. Just play it cool when I tax you the fee. We need a pool in the back with a cord and a board to go jump off and splash for the heat. Live for the day, cause the past can determine the future or where you gon' actually be. Keep staying present, our presence a blessing. It's all that we have and we actually need. I'm taking action with passion, detaching the ones who keep acting attached to leech. I am no pastor but actually preaching. Look up these lyrics and actually read them. That was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we needed. Now we undefeated. If we link, no, it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated.
Presented by Bet Online.